Welcome to Why on Earth and our quest for understanding of today's world, finding meaning behind global events, and exploring the purpose for what is happening right here on planet Earth. Today's episode is ReArming Europe a good idea? In establishing France's Fifth Republic about 65 years ago, President Charles de Gaulle went about implementing his vision of keeping France separate from the two superpowers of the time, the United States and the Soviet Union. He voiced an opinion that Americans are more our friends than Russians are, but the US too has interests, and one day their interests will clash with ours. Over the past 60 years, France has built an independent defensive capability, including an arsenal of about 290 nuclear weapons to discourage any aggression from other nations. On March 5th of this year, President Emmanuel Macron offered to provide these weapons as a deterrent umbrella for Europe to stem Russian aggression beyond Ukraine. With the US President Donald Trump frequently wondering aloud about European commitment to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and making accusatory remarks about deficiencies in financial contribution to the alliance, Europe is grappling with the need to combine its resources to defend itself against what it sees as expansionism by the old superpowers that de Gaulle was concerned about. On March 4, 2025, Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, proposed a plan called, plainly, ReArm Europe, featuring the mobilization of 800 billion euros to improve air and missile defense, artillery systems with more ammunition, drones and anti-drone systems, and cyber preparedness. She stated that this is the moment for Europe and we are ready to step up. Meantime, late last year, 5 million Swedes were mailed a 32-page brochure on surviving a war in Europe. With imminent membership in the NATO alliance, their government wanted to jolt them into preparation. On March 26th, the European Commission issued a preparedness strategy with the purpose of making society more resilient to the shocks of war or other crises. On March 7th, Donald Tusk, Poland's prime minister, announced plans for all men to get some form of military training. France is set to release a survival guide for its citizens in the summertime. Germany is apparently constructing many shelters to protect its people. Other European countries have recently made plans to prepare for a war that they believe is imminent. Defense and deterrence against the old adversary, the Russian bear. It feels right for Europe, especially with the isolationist policies of the Trump administration in the US. And why wouldn't Europe build up its defenses to counter a seemingly aggressive and ambitious Russian regime? But there are risks in letting the massive militarization of Europe proceed unabated. Despite the apparent expediency for such a rapid and drastic building up or rearming of Europe, this might prove to be as dangerous now as it was in the past. First, there is historical precedent. Europe's militarization in the early 20th century contributed to 2 world wars. Arms races and alliances created a volatile environment where small conflicts became global in scope. Second, there is a risk of escalation. If European states significantly increase military spending and build up forces, it could provoke superpowers, rival powers, Russia, for example, into an arms race, raising tensions and increasing the likelihood of conflict. Third, there is economic strain. Military buildups divert resources from economic development, social welfare, and diplomatic efforts, potentially leading to instability within their European societies. Can the militarization of Europe bring about another wide-scale conflict, a third in a little more than a century? Is it a good thing to have so many nations or groupings of nations on the same continent so heavily armed? Enemies and allies seem to be clearly distinguishable now, but what to do with US withdrawal from Europe, or Hungarian and Turkish disagreement with the European Union and NATO policies? The biblical book of Revelation describes the end of the world order that has existed for the past 2,000 years. There we find a beast rising from the sea and demonstrating such power that it is said, who is like the beast and who is able to make war against him? That's found in Revelation 13, verse 4. Revelation 17, verses 12 and 13 describes the last iteration of this beast as so. And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. Will the defense of Europe against its current foes produce such a beast with 10 national leaders that unify into an undefeatable military force? And would that be good for the rest of the world? These forces apparently grow so powerful and achieve so many military victories that they will even make war on Jesus Christ at his return. Revelation 17, verse 14. And these will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. It would be prudent to keep watch on developments in Europe, considering the past 111 years of history on the continent. I thank you for watching Why on Earth. We invite you to visit our website at whyonearth.ca, where you will find more videos like this one, and a variety of social and spiritual articles to help you in your life's journey. Goodbye for now.